to myself, did my grandfather believe that Spock and everybody would come and visit us and give us the knowledge and understanding that we need so that we can move forward? It's very strange how things affect you in life, but there we go. So, have you all had enough of me? To which the answer is no. So, what should I talk about? Any questions? You want to talk about? Hello.
Can you do the last line of Renaissance documentation, please?
All right, here goes. All right. I should have practiced this before I came out. Right, okay. It's all still waiting for you. The fields of Treadsamore, the fall of the 11th, and the question. The first question that must never be answered. Hidden in plain sight. The question you've been running from all your life. Doctor Who? Doctor Who? Doctor Who? Sorry about that, somebody pressed the pause button. Oh dear, I should have practiced that before I came out, so it's all right. Thank you much for that. I hope did I get it right? Did I miss anything else? It's very, I must admit, it's very interesting. Dorian's entire dialogue, when I meet you guys on a sort of one-to-one basis, and sometimes you ask me to write a quote on the photograph I signed. With this size, I would imagine all of you would be able to put together my entire dialogue, because Stephen Moffat's writing is excellent, you have to say. The Pandorica opens, right, for example. The very first girl who asked me, she asked me to write, have you brought me a pretty toy? Not cheap, Dr. Salt, you brought me a pretty toy. And then, for some reason, people like the phrase, off the wrist, which got me into trouble with a couple of parents because they thought I was being rude. But, as you know, it was a reference to the handsome times. So, my favourite line, I have to admit, is, tell me, doctor, how bad are my injuries? when I read that in the script, I have to admit, because it is exciting for me to read a new script, for you to see the new programme, a new episode. And of course, I lost my head the previous episode. And so I was thinking the new script would either be the backstory, probably revealing Dorian's death, you know, or a completely different time scope. So I definitely didn't expect to head the box. And when I read it, I for about 3 seconds I thought, oh, is that a concept too far? But no, that's all right. And then tell me, Doctor, how bad your injuries. I really did. My neighbours must think I'm insane. All I know is the cat jumped off the table. And also, I will admit, I have to say to you, when they came to this last line, I turned the page. Because I couldn't possibly believe that Stephen Moffat had given me the honour and the privilege to not only have the last line of the episode, but the last line of the series. And then when that started to sink in as well, I momentarily thought, am I going to pitch this right? And then I said, yes, of course I will. And I bounced around like Tigger. I couldn't believe it. And then, of course, having to keep it quiet until it was actually broadcast. Because people can say, well, tell us, what's it all about? What is it all about? And the nearest I got to telling people was, you'll have to watch it. I said, I don't really appear until the end of the episode, which as you know is untrue, but it meant they had to get to the end. But it was very interesting. Filming that line, actually, was when I first met Mark Gatiss, because the morning that I drove in, he shared a car with me. And although he drove the car with me, was already in his head. Was it Danton who plays chess? So I said, oh my God, I said, you must have got a crack of Crackington. And he said, yes, shit o'clock, as I call it. He came on set whilst I did that scene. And talking of options, I was asked from the start. Jeremy Webb was the director. He said, "Could you? We're just going to do one take each time. Can you just give us 4 options?" And so the option they chose is the one that you see, and that was just one take. So, a bit uncomfortable. I was sitting inside a very large box, the head out at the top of it, and then they put Dorian's box over me. And it wasn't until then that I really couldn't hear properly. I didn't think about that. And like today, when I talk, I use my arms a lot. I gesticulate. It wasn't until I was inside the box I realised I couldn't use my arms either. And it was then that it really dawned on me that I can only use my face and only use my voice. And how can I do this without exaggerating it and making it look a bit happy? And that's when, of course, you rely on the team around you. And it was when I did my first take, I asked the sound crew just to double check that they could hear me. And so this thumb came round, so I was easy. And that was it. It was 3 days of filming with my head in a box. It was a little claustrophobic, I will admit. Any other questions? Yes? What was my reaction when I was told I got the part? Well, I had mixed feelings. For those of you who don't know, the reason I walk with a stick is because in March 2009, I was violently attacked at a petrol station. And so I have a damaged spine, and my knee is damaged as well. And I was still recovering from it. And because I was still recovering from the attack, I wasn't in pantomime. I'm normally in pantomime at Christmas. And because I wasn't in pantomime, I was available for the audition for Dora, which was in December 2009. And as I say, I was one of 7 roly-poly actors, 3 others of whom we meet all the time. And it became a sort of joke with us, which one of us is going to get it this time. But I remember when the call came in, it literally was about 2 o'clock the previous afternoon. And the script was emailed through, and although I was still feeling like shit, I did say to myself, I really want this. Then to top it all, it was snowing in the following day, and I had to get into Tottenham Road in central London to a church hall. I got there, saw that there were 6 others going for it, and I just took a deep breath and went into the room. So I know I did a good audition, I don't deny that. And the only thing I deliberately did was I wore everything blue. I came short of actually painting myself blue to go on the underground. That would have really got me picked up again. But I wore a blue shirt, blue tie, blue jumper, blue trousers, blue socks, blue knickers, and even my shoes, my trainers were blue. Everything blue. And it was Vicky who was Andy Pryor. Andy Pryor was the producer, and his assistant was Vicky. And it was only afterwards she said, "Is there any significance in you wearing blue today?" So I just turned to her and I said, "You've seen through my cunning plan." And then on the way home, I thought, oh, why did I say that? And it was about 3 days later that my agent phoned and said, "Hello, can I speak to the large blue intergalactic marketeer?" So that's how I knew it. Any writers of you out there, one of the tips from an actor is whatever instructions you want to put into your script, make them short, brief, to the point. And so for the script I had to learn was the script in the dialogue from Pandora Opens. So it just said, set homage to Star Wars. There you go. So I had a good idea of what it was going to look like. Dorian, large blue man, think of Sydney Green Street. Now, any of you who watch Casablanca will know who Sydney Green Street. If you haven't, any of you Google Sydney Green Street, you'll know who he is. And in the film Casablanca, he also wore a fez. He was a big man in a white suit who wore a fez. So clearly, Stephen Moffat is a visitor, a Casablanca fan too. So I knew in my mind the image they were looking for, so that made it very easy. I'm not saying I did an impersonation of Sydney Green Street because I couldn't, but it helps me with my deportment, and I do think that maybe it helps me. Also, when I asked why I was chosen, they very kindly said I was the obvious choice. That's right. But secondly, I was the only one of the actors to actually learn the lines. I thought, silly asses. It was only 6 or 7 lines. I'd understand if we'd sent War and Peace to learn overnight. So awful then. There is this phrase when we go to auditions, prepare. And prepare really means learn. So there we go. Anything else? Anybody got any other questions of the class? Because we are coming to the end now. I'm getting a wind-up call. So, well, thank you all very much for coming along. I'll be here same time. Is it tomorrow? I'll be here tomorrow. If you're back here tomorrow, it would be nice to see you. If in the meantime you've got other questions you'd like to ask, do feel free to come up to my table. Also, just to let you know, I've got an autobiography coming out. It's called My Dalek Has a Puncture, which is also the name of my show. I've got a one-man show that I take around. And you can pre-order it online, and if you come to my table, I'll give you a Billy Joe, which will tell you how to do that, if you wish. In the meantime, thank you very much for coming along, and hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. It's 2 o'clock tomorrow, so half an hour early.